What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. What do you say about that game right there, huh? I don't know. I don't know what to say. I know it's preseason. That's always a good thing. There's some things in this game that kind of concern me. We'll get back to that in a moment, but how do we start off this show? As you know them, you love them, you got to have them, so here it is. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense here on a late Saturday night after your Tampa Bay Buccaneers fall to the Jacksonville Jaguars 20-7. This was not pretty. The momentum that all the Bucs fans are feeling good about, well, once again, let me temper this. It's preseason, right? No first-team starters got hurt, knock on wood. That's always a good thing, right? There's some positives. Jose Ramirez showed out tonight. 3 sacks, tremendous game. You know, I think it was before the game, the announcement was the Bucs have come to an agreement with Randy Gregory. Nice to know you. Sayonara sucker. You're gone. You're done. You're out of here. You're fired. You're done.
Screw you. You're fired.
They've agreed to release him, which they probably should have done that the first week of mandatory minicamp when he didn't show up. But there's some things that do concern me about this team right now. None of which is the offense, because I think the first team offense will be good. Kyle Trask looked good tonight. Certainly earned the backup spot. In my family right now, my mom is dancing in the streets of Holiday. I kid you not. That was how exciting this game was overall. We were going back and forth on this because the first couple drives there, especially the first drive, ugly. Missed throws. 2 missed throws. Offensive line gave him enough protection. He misses McMillan wide open there on the sideline. Tough throw, but that's a throw you got to make as an NFL football player, as an NFL quarterback. You got to make that throw. He doesn't give his wide receiver the chance to make the catch. And then he misses him down the middle there, whether it's McMillan or it's just a bad pass, which it looked like it was a bad pass. But then, you know, in that mid-second quarter, he gets it together. 5 for 6, 33 yards with the touchdown to Cody Thompson. Good. And then after that, not much. Because everything the Bucs seemed like they wanted to do, that they were going to be successful with, there was a penalty that called it back. Was it the refs tonight? No. That was the Bucs. That was preseason. That was preseason football. That's what preseason football is supposed to look like to a certain degree. You know, the great thing about this is that, you know, hopefully this won't carry over to the regular season. With, you know, Bryce Hall getting an interception, watching, again, the game with my mother and family. Why was that called? Why was that called back? Well, because he treated it like a first date. He ever so softly put his hands around the wide receiver's waist. And maybe, you know, that's a good first date tactic. I don't know. But in football, we call that holding. So it gets called back. A tremendous block by John Wolford, who, coming into the game, you thought would have a chance to win the backup quarterback role. Not with the play tonight. Not even close. But makes a great block. Frees up the running back. You think you're going to get a touchdown there with DJ Williams. And it gets called back by a penalty. Another thing that's concerning, Chase McLaughlin. What has happened to Chase McLaughlin? Just earned a contract extension. You got one job to do. It's kick. You got to make those kicks. He misses a kick tonight to get the Bucs closer into this game. 42 yards. He missed a kick last week of 51 yards. That's concerning. The pass rush tonight, Jose Ramirez, like I said, 3 sacks. The Bucs overall, 5 sacks. Didn't see a lot from Chris Braswell. So it looks like Ramirez could have the leg up. You see Marquise Watts showing up there. Blown coverages all over the place, whether it was Tyke Smith or Marcus Banks. According to Rondé Barber on the broadcast, that was Banks. You can't have that. And then the other thing that was the Achilles heel of this Tampa Bay defense last year, 3rd and long, according to Greg Allman of Fox Sports. In the first half alone, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 10 to set up a field goal. It can't happen, but once again, it's a preseason football game. Ready to take your phone calls, ready to hear from you. Yes, you will get a Tampa Bay, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So let's go out to the comments here and talk to you guys. Roger Shue says, first.
Acknowledge me.
Roger Shue, again, not a victory Saturday, not a victory Sunday. Laugh out loud, Bears 3-0. Once again, it's a preseason. Caleb Williams showed some flashes of brilliance. I know that you're so excited with your Caleb Williams jersey on today. You're also dancing in the streets there of Holiday with the performance that he had. But good stuff there for your Bears. I won't hate on you like you hate on us, like you hate on Bucs fans. Every freaking broadcast that we have on this show, every freaking broadcast, the tribal troll shows up.
Acknowledge me.
And this is what you do to trolls to put them in check.
This guy sucks.
All right. That was just embarrassing. The hill mark. Absolutely. It was embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
There's no stuff around it. I mean, you look at the numbers. The final numbers are ugly. And Kyle Trask has to come into the game because Wolford is shaken up. That was the other story there. Kayvon Merriweather goes out with a knee injury, doesn't return. Hopefully it's not serious because he's up for some contention of being a third safety in this back end. But the back end tonight didn't have a good game. It was not a good game for players that wanted to make this team. Andrew Hayes, once again, showing up. I'd rather have Willie Mays Hayes at this point, honestly, to steal a line from Joe Bucs fan. Seriously. Not good. Not good. Not good at all. So the Bucs are going to have some decisions to make. And, of course, they had their final preseason home game versus the Miami Dolphins, where you would think that you're going to see a lot of the starters to get them ready for the Washington Commanders on September 8th. Right? You would think so. But the whole goal is, not to get anybody hurt. That's what it comes down to. That's exactly what it comes down to. And I believe besides Merriweather there, the Bucs were pretty successful in doing that. Again, final numbers for quarterbacks here. Kyle Trask, 8 for 13, 53 yards. Is that updated? Because I know he came in there, was successful. So let's see if we can update it. There it is. Okay. 12 for 19, 108 yards, 1 touchdown. We talked about that. John Wolford, 7 for 14, 52 yards. Another bright spot, because you know me, I'm the eternal optimist when it comes to this show. Sean Tucker, once again, showing out. 4 carries for 32 yards, another big run tonight, and also had a big kickoff return, which set them up for that first touchdown. You got Bucky Irving once again performed well, 6 for 26. Graham Barton was in on that line, on that drive. You could see him holding his blocks. You know, the great thing about Barton is you don't hear his name. That's always a good thing for an offensive lineman. That's what you build your stock on when you don't hear that guy's name. But when he's in there, the pocket is pretty clean. It was pretty clean all night long, besides when the second and third guys got in there, then not so much. So definitely was embarrassing. Let me go out to Scott here. Still, my Buccaneers never jump ship. Let's go out to Tim. Ramirez had a hell of a game. He absolutely did. Was everywhere tonight. We talked about that young man because, look, you know, now that you don't have Gregory, who's going to step up? Because there is some question. Yaya Diaby still banged up. We talked about JTS, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, how he has not been productive in his career. So who's going to step up? Is it going to be Chris Braswell, who they drafted in the second round? They have some, yet haven't heard from him that much. You haven't heard his name, right? We talked about offensive linemen. Not hearing their name is a good thing. When you don't hear a pass rusher's name, that's not a good thing. Didn't hear a lot from him tonight. But you did hear from Jose Ramirez, who had an unbelievable practice, padded practice, joint practice with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Continued on with that momentum. An undrafted guy last year who they were very excited about. Believe was on their practice squad, and now he's showing out. So, without further ado, let's go out to the phone lines here. Let's go out to Mr. Frankie here in Wisconsin. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television as the Bucs fall in the second preseason game of the year versus the Jaguars, 20-7. What's on your mind, Frankie?
Oh, so much, man. That game was just icky to watch, and just it was depressing for a Bucs fan to watch. There was a lot of good things to take out of it to move forward on.
Sure.
For building blocks. You know what I mean? Because there's things that you can take out of there and say, okay, we can build on this. We can grow on this. But there was a lot of mistakes, like you said. But, you know, I'm still just not a Kyle Trask fan, and I know everyone's going to hate on me for it. I just don't like it.
That's okay. You don't have to be hated on, again, hating on Kyle Trask, because, you know, there's moments tonight where he has to complete passes, which we've talked about, where if you want to be a quarterback in this league, we know who the quarterback is. Let's make no mistake about it. Baker Mayfield is your starting quarterback with the contract extension. Right? But you still have to
exactly. Baker, I trust.
Right. You still have to see more out of your backup quarterback in case, knock on wood, Baker does get hurt. We haven't seen.
You better knock on some wood for that. I don't want to see him go down.
I did, my friend.
I just knocked on wood for you, too. I don't want to see that happen.
Of course. Nobody wants to see that happen. Absolutely not. Yes. So, but.
Gosh. But did you see J.J. McCarthy? Oh, God.
I did see that. Yeah, he got hurt his knee.
Oh, gosh, that was brutal.
He's out for the year. So, I mean,
that was brutal.
That's tough. That's tough for it. Puts a team that has, you know, plans for McCarthy coming in, whether he's going to be a starter or not. Now you take those plans and throw them out the door, and you're not sure, you know, if he's going to be, you would think he's going to be back next year, but with the knee injury, you just never know. So hopefully he recovers, but Sam Darnold is now your starter. So
but see, as far as Vikings fans go, and I don't know, this is Buccaneer talk, okay? But as far as like any sports fan goes, like if this happened to the Buccaneers, and let's say we had Sam Darnold.
Well, really quick, I want to correct myself. Jose Ramirez was a 6th-round pick last year. I don't know why I said undrafted. He was a 6th-round pick, but he was on the practice squad, so it's great to see him show out here the last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Is definitely you got to talk about him a little bit, right? Excited about him?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. Did we know his name last year, Billy?
We did not. We did not know his name last year. No.
that was like a name. I'm like, I had to Google search that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who is this guy?
Mm-hmm.
Did we have him last year?
You did. He's 6th round pick. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he was riding the pine pony, so to speak.
Well, they've certainly felt good about developing him, and that's
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
the reason.
Oh, yeah.
That's maybe the reason why they haven't gone out and gotten a Hassan Reddick or, of course, a Matt Judon, like we've kind of suggested here and thrown out there to Bucs fans, because they are excited about the young players like a Ramirez and like a Marquise Watts, especially the development here the last couple of weeks of Ramirez.
But back to what I was saying.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
If that happened to us where we had Sam Darnold and J.J. McCarthy, right?
Yeah.
Now we know Sam Darnold is a journeyman quarterback. He's been a basic backup quarterback almost everywhere. He something didn't pan out with the Jets. Well, we know the Jets just suck. But anyway, say we had Sam Darnold and we drafted J.J. McCarthy. Bucs fans are going to go, ooh, do we really want Sam Darnold going in as the starter? We're going to be craving for JJ all season, just waiting for him to go in. And now that JJ is kind of out of the equation, right? Mm-hmm. We don't have to sit there and go, oh, Sam Darnold, please screw up so we can get in JJ. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know that's how you're going to be thinking, because you know JJ's the future and everybody wants to see him play right away.
Right.
So for Vikings fans, this is kind of a good thing, yet it is a bad thing, because you're not going to be sitting there going, okay, when's Sam going to screw up so we can get JJ in? Just say it, like, put it out there like that. Look at the glass half full.
The point is that you don't have any major injuries to your first team, and hopefully that will continue next week for the Bucs. But you're exactly right. The injuries have been around the league. You've had some guys go down there, and, of course, McCarthy being one of the big names at this point. What else did you see out of this game that you can actually take a positive besides a Jose Ramirez, Frankie?
Well, the running game was looking good because Barton, oh, man. Gosh, that guy is just – I got to say, I was thinking losing Jensen was just – like him retiring was just going to be like a huge gap that we were never going to be able to fill.
It's been a huge gap the last 2 years. It's been one of their biggest losses on that offensive line. And
now with Barton, I'm like, I'm being honest, who hears an offensive lineman's name in college, especially a center?
Right.
Like, we knew Tristan Wirfs when he was coming in because we were looking for a tackle. So we're all like, yeah, let's look at the tackles. But I knew we were looking for a center, but I didn't really pick anybody out except, oh, gosh, what was that one guy's name? Oh, gosh, he went early in the first round, and I can't think of his name now off the top of my head.
Okay. Well,
do you know who I'm speaking of? He was like in the top 10.
I don't know who you're speaking about, but you're exactly right. When it comes to offensive linemen, it's always good not to hear their name, because if you hear their name, they're either holding or they're getting beat, and you haven't heard that about Barton. But when you look back at this tape, when you look back, as I was looking for it tonight, watching it, the broadcast, looking at what he's doing, how he's pushing the line around, how he's holding his blocks, how he continues to open up holes in the run game. And it should be encouraging for a lot of Bucs fans. Frankie, anything else here on the sports web until you want to use your second call here?
No, I'm just going to keep listening and see what else happens and see when I can chime in again. Just keep all your work up, Peter, man. I love it.
Hey, man, appreciate you. As always, the hill mark right there. Frankie from Wisconsin. Open phone line. And really quick, I want to go out to this in case you guys don't know. It's a new website here in care of Amped Up Sports, thesportsweb.live, in order to see all the great content, to like and subscribe to YouTube there, the Sports Web, and friend me on Facebook. But once again, new website. Go to that website. Check it out. In case you missed this broadcast, you want to see another broadcast, you want to see me be wrong, you want to see me be right, thesportsweb.live. Let's go out and continue to read these comments here from you webheads, because this is what the Sports Web is all about. Not only me sitting here and talking to a camera, but also talking to you, taking your phone calls as always, and also reading your comments, your concerns, anything you had after this loss after the Bucs fall to the Jacksonville Jaguars 20-7. Of course, next they play the Miami Dolphins at Raymond James Stadium on Friday night. And once again, you would assume that you would see some of that first team offense and some of that first team defense because you haven't seen that. You haven't seen at all. You've seen KJ Britt, and that's about it. KJ Britt is the guy that you've seen on this defense as a number one starter. That's about it. Still, my Buccaneers never jump ship. Okay, Tim Ramirez is a hell of a game. Absolutely. Christopher Cole. Barton is the real deal. Absolutely.
Ooh, yeah.
Again, you watch him. Just looks natural for a guy that, there's a lot of questions. Well, was he going to play center? Is he going to play guard? Is he going to play left tackle? You probably could play all those positions. I talked to him. He's a smart guy. He's catching on quick. That's the reason why this organization was so excited about him when they drafted him in the first round this year. So good stuff there. Cole Walton is probably on the bubble. I think most of the offensive line was probably on the bubble tonight. A lot of these guys are on the bubble, and that bubble should burst very quick because the offense was absolutely dreadful. There's no way around it. There's no way you can sugarcoat it besides to say, thank God this was not a regular season game because, like Frankie said, it would have been embarrassing. Let's go out to 88. By the way, great job with your stuff there. I know you do a wrestling show. I know you do some stuff here. We have to get you on the sports web. You do a great job, my friend. Thanks a lot for tuning in. As always, still think Trask could have gotten rid of the ball instead of taking a sack to end the game, but it's preseason. Yeah, that's the one thing. And that's what Chris Myers is saying on the broadcast. You cannot take a sack. And I get it. It's a preseason game, but for a quarterback that's been in this league for 4 years, you've got to know that situation. You've got to get rid of that ball. You got to throw it out of bounds. You got to throw it to the end zone. You cannot take a sack because it ends the game at that point. Not that you're going to win it, but you may get it close. You never know. I mean, those are the type of situations that coaches have to look at. Like this guy's been in the league for 4 years, and you're still making those type of decisions. We're still seeing the inconsistencies when it comes to throws. I'm not saying he played terrible tonight. It's just inconsistency for me. Like he made some really good throws in that second quarter. He also made some bad throws. But he's won the quarterback job as a backup. Are you good with that? Are you good with that, Bucs fan? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. The Hill Mark. I honestly want to know who seriously gave the go-ahead to draft Kyle Trask. Well, that was a Jason Light situation. That was a Jason Light pick in the second round. And, to be honest and fair, and it has not panned out. Has he been given every opportunity to start in the league? No, of course not. Because of the quarterbacks in front of him, because of being under Tom Brady and Blaine Gabbert, and then not being able to beat out Baker Mayfield because Mayfield has the experience and showed more last year in camp. So does he have that game situation where he's played in a real game besides the Indianapolis one? A couple of snaps there where Baker goes out with an injury and comes back in? No, he doesn't. All right, let's go out to the Tribal Troll.
Acknowledge me.
Let's go out to Roger Shue after the Bucs fall to the Jaguars 20-7. What's on your mind tonight, Bears fan?
All right. First of all, I do not hate Bucs fans. I don't hate the Bucs.
Okay. Well, why do you troll them all the time? Why do you come on this program every freaking time and troll my Bucs fans and try to troll me? You know what happens when you do that, right? You get the Bob Barker.
This guy sucks.
Actually, it's good TV.
Okay.
You're the baby face. I got to play the heel.
You're the heel. So is Frankie. He's the heel mark. I get it. We're all wrestling fans here. Did you watch the game tonight? What do you have to say? Anything positive, anything negative? Or do you want to blab on about Caleb Williams?
I can't say anything about the Bucs game. I did not watch.
Did not watch it. Okay.
I'm just watching the show to get informed by the football god, Peter H. Blake.
Okay.
About what happened.
All right, you're like the Bucs offense tonight. A blind man trying to find a doorknob. That's what you were like. So
exactly.
Yes. All right.
So I don't know. What do you think's gonna turn this around? Did the starters play at all or no?
The starters didn't play tonight, so it's
Okay. It's trash then. Nobody
it's-
cares.
I mean, I think people care. I think there's some concerns here. Chase McLaughlin missing 2 straight kicks. You got one job to do. That's
That
kick the ball.
is a concern.
Right. That's definitely a concern. Yes.
But when's your next preseason game?
Friday night at Raymond James Stadium, and I'm
Okay.
pretty sure we're going to be live on the JP Peterson Show, of course, the Sports Web in collaboration, on the sideline at the end of the game. So we'll see.
All right, who are you playing?
The Miami Dolphins.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to play your starters, or do you sit them and wait for the regular season?
I think they're going to play. I think they're going to see some action. I think they need to see some action at this point. But what you're concerned about is when you get them that action, you got to avoid injury. So get them some action.
That's the whole thing to preseason.
Right. Get them some reps, get them some action, and go from there.
Put them in for a quarter. Let them see what happens.
Right. All right. What else?
That's it, man. I'm just going to listen to the rest of the show, and
okay.
I wish you guys luck.
All right. So we'll see what happens. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. I'll give you the Ric Flair. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Let's see here. So we went out to that. I honestly want to know who seriously gave the go-ahead to draft Kyle Trask. We talked about that. Number block 1. Somebody's laughing. I don't know who that is, but thanks a lot for tuning in on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
It's always good. I love the YouTube flavor there. I love all the people tuning in. We need to drive that channel up a little bit. Get the views up. And if you do like what I do here, YouTube super chats are wide open, and so are Facebook stars. So get those going. Thank you very much for tuning in. Gregory will be released. Should have been released. That was the story tonight. I have no idea. I'm disappointed about this whole situation because I thought he was going to be somewhat of a contributing factor. I know that there were situations and there's been issues throughout his career that you would think, he's going to be able to overcome that. He's supremely talented. It's never been a question of Gregory's talent. It's always been the question of the off-the-field mess. And once again, it rears its ugly head. So, yes, during the broadcast, they broke the news that they've come to an agreement to where they're going to release him this week. And I say good riddance and have a nice life. That's all you can say at this point.
Shut up!
So with what Jose Ramirez did tonight, are you comfortable with where the Bucs sit with pass rushers and edge rushers, or still do you want them to pursue an Hassan Reddick? Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Somebody sent something. Who is this? Oh, it is Roger Shue with a $20 super chat. Gotta love that. I love to get money for doing what I love. I love that. Don't you? Go ahead and give to it. Thank you very much, Roger Shue. I saw it right there out of the corner of my eye. Braun says, can I get a go Bucs? Go Bucs. Go Bucs.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Go Bucs. And I think a lot of people wanted the Bucs to go and get the hell out of town after the loss against the Jacksonville Jaguars, because offensively tonight, that was pretty ugly. But thanks a lot, Braun, for tuning in as always.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle looked good tonight. You look at his final numbers, 12 for 19, 108, 1 touchdown, and he did have to come back in the fourth quarter there because John Wolford sustained some type of injury, was banged up. So Trask tried to finish it out. For me, taking that sack at the end is not good, but he definitely played well. And tonight, I definitely think he earned that backup role. He is your backup quarterback. Go Buccaneers, absolutely. Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Trask played well. The heel mark. I mean, seriously, come on now, Kyle. Do your job. Just grab the clipboard, sit on the bench. Let's go out to number 1 block. We owned their offensive line. Absolutely. That's a big-time question mark. That's a good thing. Number block 1. Thank you very much. You're exactly right. That's a big-time question coming in, whether it is the second or the third team offensive line. that offensive line has been putrid, and it's a big question mark. You signed Trevor Lawrence to that big-time contract, but you got main questions about the offensive line. The Bucs did a good job tonight of not only dominating that offensive line in this contest, but also in the padded practices during the week. Roger, yes, right there. The Hill mark, I'm not a fan at all. Laugh out loud. Number block 1. I don't know if Ramirez is ready for the real prime time, but he was a beast tonight. He's going to get the opportunity. He most likely will get the opportunity because you're looking at right now as your pass rushers on the edge. You've got Yaya Diaby. You've got JTS. We know he's not played particularly well. We think that they're going to go to a Chris Braswell because he did get drafted in the second round, but he has not showed up. You haven't heard from him. So maybe a guy like a Jose Ramirez, who had the chance to develop with the Bucs last year with their practice squad, will get that opportunity. And maybe that's the reason why this organization is not panicking to trade for a Reddick or Judon, who, by the way, went to the Atlanta Falcons along with Justin Simmons, as now everybody wants to pick the Atlanta Falcons as they are the darling of the NFL. But make no mistake about it, this division, this NFC South, runs through Tampa Bay. Period. Point blank, period, as some of my friends would say, bar none. I don't care how many moves they make. Can Kirk Cousins stay healthy? That's a pretty devastating knee injury that he's coming off of there. That's pretty tough. Got a lot of new faces, new offensive system, new defensive system, new coaching staff, and you want to put that all together and you think you're going to be able to put it all together just like that? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But they are making some moves here to make it close. And I think it goes back to what Gerald McCoy said this week when the Falcons made all those moves. They made all those moves just to lose against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Hey, it's Scott. How are you?
I'm doing good, Scott. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. Wanted to bring up Canoe. I thought you made some impressive plays. You look pretty good.
Yeah, what did you like tonight? What impressive plays did you like? Because there were only a few there. I mean, you had Sean Tucker's long run. Yeah. There
were a few, but again, this is our second and third string.
Yes.
And like you, I'm ready for our starters to come out, but I'm a little concerned about injury. But I also want to say the interceptions that we did, the picks that we did early in the game, they were really impressive to me.
Well, you had Bryce Hall make a play, but once again, it got nullified. You're exactly right on that.
Exactly.
And you also had a fumble recovery there where actually Hayes did makes a play there, Andrew Hayes, and it's recovered by Wisdom. You're absolutely correct. They did make some plays tonight defensively. I don't think this was.
But go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm just saying I don't think it was all on the defense. I mean, the defense had some blown coverages tonight, but I think they kept the Bucs in the game. This is clearly on the offense's inability to get anything working, to get any rhythm at all, whether it was the offensive line being overwhelmed, quarterback ineffectiveness, drop passes, missing guys, missed field goals. It was just it was bad. It was bad. It was bad, my friend. Yes.
You learn to convert on third.
Yes, you got to convert on third down, and you definitely got to shut down people on those long third downs. You have to do that.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you for a good job.
Hey, man. Thanks a lot. Anything else here on the sports web?
I'm ready for next Friday and go Bucs.
Well,
and never jump ship.
Yeah, that's right. Never jump ship. Go Bucs.
Let's go!
And Scott, you definitely have become one of my favorite webheads on this show. Tune in next Friday. We'll be live on the sideline in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. All right, my friend?
I'll be there.
All right, sounds good. Good stuff there. Absolutely said go Bucs.
Let's go!
How
about them Bucs, baby?
Fire those cannons. All right, open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 after the Bucs fall to the Jaguars 20-7. Give me your thoughts on what you saw out of this game. I already gave you mine. Some concerning things. Again, the blown coverages, but that's your, those are guys trying to win the job. Tavir Thomas didn't look good tonight at all. Marcus Banks didn't look good tonight. Tyke Smith made some plays. Nearly got through there with the blitz. Chased down the quarterback. That was impressive. We talked about the situation when it came to pressure with Ramirez and Marquise Watts and this Bucs team overall for the night. How many sacks did they have? Team-wise, they had 5 sacks. They also, being a negative, gave up 3 sacks. And largely for the night, both quarterbacks were under pressure. But when they did get the opportunity to complete those passes, as I talked about Trask on that first drive, you got to make those. You got to make those passes. You got to complete them. That's the difference. So going back to it, number block 1, I don't know if Ramirez is ready for the real prime time, but he was a beast tonight. Well, if he continues to play the way he does, and, this nugget was thrown out there, like he put on weight last year and cut weight because Todd Bowles and the defensive staff told him. And by the way, Casey Rogers was calling the defensive calls tonight. It's usually up to Todd Bowles, but he allowed he allowed one of his coaches to do that, right? But Ramirez, lost weight. He's trying to put on weight last year, lost weight, and he looks like just a completely different player. He's developed overnight. He's got great bend. You can see it. You can see why they drafted him in the 6th round. He's got lots of potential. He does. So we'll see if he's ready for the prime time, especially if JTS is ineffective and, Braswell's not the guy, which I'm not ready to rule him out yet. But I'm just saying a guy like Ramirez, who's been able to develop, and even Todd Bowles said at halftime with Dan Lucas on Channel 8 there, which hopefully you found the game, he's got to get more sacks, continue to keep on getting sacks. But that'll definitely help his case, and most likely he'll make this team, has already made this team because of his impressive play the last couple days. We had really good moments, not necessarily a good game. No, it was not. Good stuff there, Drake. Thanks a lot for coming in. Yeah! Let's go on to Tim. Not pretty. Defensive backs looked a little rough. Yes, they did. I talked about that already. Tavir Thomas didn't have a great night. Marcus Banks didn't have a great night at all. Andrew Hayes made a play, but he didn't have a great night, as always. He had some plays he gave up, some missed tackles. Guys, you got to make tackles when the player catches the ball to cut down the yak. You got to make that. You got to make that tackle. Banks. Mac Daddy Jones looked good. Yeah. That's not always a good thing, right? So let's go out to those numbers for Mac Jones, who from this point on has been a bust for the Patriots. He looked like a superstar quarterback tonight. 16 for 23, 210, 2 touchdowns. CJ Beathard, not so much. 5 for 7, 40 yards. In fact, they put Jones back in there to throw a deep touchdown for them to take the lead at 20-7. And when they had the lead at 13-7, it basically put it out. It was done. They put him back in. Well, why was he in the game? I guess they wanted to win that game so bad, and Beathard was terrible, so you want to get Jones. So Jones had a good night for them. Let's go out to David L. Webb. There's the preseason Bucs. I know, not sure which was worse. The secondary, the quarterback play, or kicking. Geesh. Yeah, that's a good comment. Oh, yeah. The concerning thing for a lot of Bucs fans right now, because it's like BTSD all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like PTSD, BTSD, where Bucs fans have seen this act happen before, where guys start missing kicks. We know how good McLaughlin was last year, over 90%. It's like something like what, 95%? With conversion, you got to make those kicks. That's your job, whether it's preseason or not. Yeah, and I'm hoping he's getting this out of the way. because we saw the Bucs in their response to the other kicker on this team and Jake Cremata, where they brought somebody on, and that was probably the other good thing because the Bucs were so ineffective when it came to scoring points tonight. They had a big-time opportunity to get punts, and Cremata absolutely performed well, 50.8 on 5 punts. So there you go, challenge accepted. They brought a punter in here. Oh, yeah, you're not going to punt the way you need to punt from last week. We're going to bring some competition in. Do the Bucs bring in a competition for a kicker? Even if they signed him to an extension, do you bring somebody in to put a light a fire under his ass? Excuse my language, it's late, but that's how I feel. They may do that. So we'll see. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So I think it's the kicking, but you could definitely go. I mean, how about you, Bucs? Where do you rank the positions tonight of failure, if you will? Was the secondary the worst? Was it the quarterback play, or was it the kicking? 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Thank you very much, David, for the comment. Good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Why did Mac Jones play so much? They didn't want to play Trevor Lawrence. They didn't want to get him hurt. And C.J. Beathard was just terrible. You see those numbers? He was not good. I don't necessarily think it was all his fault either, because the Bucs and their pressure got to him a couple times. A lot of times tonight. 5 sacks, number block 1. Let's be real. The Jags own them all week too. Yep, very true. With Trevor Lawrence throwing 4 touchdowns. We talked about that on Wednesday on the JP Peterson show. But what you heard is that when that defensive line was in there, they were able to get some pressure on Lawrence. And then on top of that, Jose Ramirez, who had a great game tonight, has had a great week. So he may have earned himself a spot on this team, no doubt about it. Hansey isn't the guy who can push guys off the ball. That's the reason why Christopher Cole, you upgrade that situation. He'll most likely be your backup or your swing tackle because he is so versatile and he can play the left tackle spot and the guard spots and the center spot on that line. So he's going to be a backup. That's what you would certainly say at this point with the way Barton has played this game, the last couple of games and throughout training camp. So I agree with you, and that's the reason why you draft him in the first place, to upgrade that situation. And you can see how the offensive line is that much better. Elijah Klein also playing the right tackle spot tonight. Saw him get beat a couple times there. Give the old Donovan Smith treatment where he grabs the guy by the neck. He was lucky he didn't get called for holding. That's just not going to work. That technique will not get very far at all because Beathard got hurt. I think he did get hurt, but he was just not good tonight either. I didn't know he got hurt. Oh, okay. Earl says, backup secondary is hot garbage. Yeah, not good. Protect number 6 at all costs. Absolutely, Earl.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you tuning in here as, we're only a couple of weeks away from the start of the season. So, of course, the Bucs are going to clean some of this stuff up, but don't lose your mind over this. I get on this program, I tell you my thoughts, I give you my reaction. But again, I'm going to preface this by saying it is a preseason game where the majority of the players were second and third, and some of these guys won't be on this team here in the next couple of weeks. So the tool is to get some of these guys to see who you got as depth. Are they just guys? Are they going to be cut? Are they going to make this team? Are they going to make contributions? And then to keep, the majority of your players, especially the ones you're depending on throughout the season, not to get hurt, healthy. So absolutely protect number 6 at all costs. Thomas just isn't good. We allowed third down success so much for other teams. Yeah, I did that last year. And you had to be disappointed with that tonight. You saw that on the big play there. You got 3rd and 17. You got to shut down that team. If you're going to play zones, you've got to know your assignment. Whether it was Banks or Tyke Smith, that's a blown coverage. Can't happen. I don't know. I guess I'll take this call. Welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Okay, so there you go. I don't know who that was. Great call there. Thanks a lot. Thanks for bringing absolutely nothing to the show. Nothing. So you're actually right. Drake definitely allowed third downs last year. He did it tonight. Again, going back to it. Okay, let's go out to Frankie. Frankie, using your second call. Welcome back to the Sports Web.
Well, after that Doug call, you need someone to bring their passion, bring their excitement. Woo!
What's the other one?
So, well, I'm not going to bring the nonsense.
Okay,
they did that.
Okay, all right. So what's on your mind tonight?
They brought the nonsense. I'm bringing the passion and the excitement.
You did. Okay.
Woo!
Sounds good, man. I love it.
Yeah, I just want to say never jump ship, guys. This is only the preseason, okay?
Right.
Never jump ship. And let me tell you, I've been a Buccaneer fan since I was 10 years old in Wisconsin, where I'm pretty sure it's a state law that you must be a Packer fan. I swear there's probably cops looking for me somewhere around here.
Wow.
And I'm in hiding.
You're in hiding right now.
But no, seriously, but like Wisconsin is Packer country. Like they don't like you if you're rooting against the Packers.
Yeah.
And I hate the Packers more than any team in football.
By the way, I don't know if you guys seen this today, but this was during the Bears game. And of course, I know she is the girlfriend of, I believe it's Jonathan Owens. Simone Biles, she had a Jonathan Owens jacket on. The problem was she walked into Soldier Field and it was a Green Bay jacket. That is a no-no.
You suck.
Well, come on, Bears. I mean, come on. You got the star of the Olympics there. She's walking to the Soldier Field, and I know she's representing her husband, but she cannot be wearing a Green Bay Packer jacket.
That's a no-no.
That's a no-no.
That is a huge no-no.
That's a no-no. But go ahead, Frankie.
Oh, man. But let me tell you, being a Buccaneer fan in Wisconsin is tough. But let me tell you, the toughest time being a Buccaneer fan, one of my all-time favorite players, and everyone's going to groan. I know. I loved him when he played for Purdue. I was excited when San Diego drafted him. And then when he went to New Orleans, I'm like, hey, maybe he's going to get a good start. And then Drew Brees blew up in New Orleans. And I'm like, he's still my favorite player. And everyone's like, why are you rooting for Drew Brees when that's like our bitter rival? I'm like, hey, look, I like the guy. I'm not rooting for the Saints.
You can't.
I'm rooting for Drew Brees to do well.
No, you can't like that guy. You can't root for him to do well. He's a Buccaneer killer. Was a Buccaneer killer throughout his career.
I know he is. I know. I hated him for that.
Can't do it, Frankie. You can't do it.
I know. That was like the hardest time for me as a Buccaneer fan.
Yeah.
Because I've always liked Drew Brees. Always have.
Right.
And then he comes to New Orleans, and I'm like, well, maybe he'll get a good start. And then he destroys the NFL, and I'm like, dude, I have to hate you now. It was so hard, guys. But, man, this game, just embarrassing. I wanted to call and just say, guys, do not jump ship. It's only preseason. And if you think this is hard, just this little bit of what's going on, trust me, this ain't tough. Be a real Bucs fan and deal with everything that's been going on.
Well said.
For the years and years and years that we've dealt with.
On that note right there, that is absolutely correct. If you're a real Bucs fan, this is nothing at all. You've seen worse games during the regular season than the preseason. Thank you very much for that perspective, Frankie from Wisconsin. Appreciate the calls tonight, my friend. We'll see you on Monday night, all right?
All right, man. You have a great night, man.
All right, man. Good stuff there. Let me give him the Ric Flair. Woo! I know he's a big-time wrestling fan. He's exactly right. Don't lose your mind over this. I came on here. This is what I do. I talk Bucs football, whether it's an exhibition or training camp or preseason or whatever the heck you want to call it, wins or losses. We come on here together. We talk about it. We discuss. We agree. Sometimes we disagree, but at the end of the night, we walk away as friends. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391 after the Bucs fall to the Jacksonville Jaguars 20-7. What did you see out of this game? What were some positives that you can take out of? What were the negatives? question was posed out there by David. I think it's a great question, David. Thanks a lot for the insight. As always, love my web heads here. What was worse? Was it the secondary? Was it the quarterback play? Or was it the kicking for you that is most concerning? Once again, my thing is the kicking because Chase McLaughlin has one job, and that is to make field goals. And the last 2 weeks, he's missed both of those field goals. Tim, so we answered that question here. Let's see. Let me go. We allowed the third down. Absolutely. The Bucs have to go out and get a pass rusher to help Yaya Reddick. He could be had. Yeah, we talked about that. What are you going to give up for him, Dave? Is it going to be a second or third round pick? And then on top of it, we know from, all the reports that are coming out of New York, the reason why he's not in a New York Jets uniform, he wants $25 to $28 million. So, and I get it, the Bucs are 22 under, but that may cost you a player down the road. Are you willing to do that? I don't know. I don't know if they're willing to do that. Good pass rushers, great pass rushers don't grow on trees. They don't. So you're exactly right. If that window is open and you feel like, this is one of the missing pieces, depending on Yaya Diaby and his injury, although it looks like he's going to return. I don't know if he's going to be 100%, but it looks like he's going to be pretty close. And then, who's the other guys? Are they just guys? JTS, we know, has been just a guy. Could that change? Could he step up? We'll see. Jose Ramirez looks like he could step up. Maybe this is the reason why they're not making that. And again, it goes back to also culture. This guy's been holding out. How many teams has he been traded to the last couple of years? Do you want to bring that into your locker room? Do you want to give somebody that amount of money who hasn't been here for the long haul? Who's basically an outsider at this point? Do you want to do that? We'll see. They still got some time to do it. So good stuff there. As always, Dave, thanks a lot for tuning in.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to the backups are average at best. Yeah. Earl says, good stuff there, Earl. Thank you. Dave, love it or hate it, Trask is number 2. Yeah, I agree with you. I definitely think that Trask is going to be number 2 going forward.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to Dave again. I'm ready to see the number 1s. I agree with you. How much time are you going to see? Are you going to see the number 1s on Friday night versus the Miami Dolphins? We got you covered here live at Raymond James Stadium on the sideline. We should be out there covering that game at the end of the game, taking your phone calls and getting all your reaction in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. And again, tune in to the JP Peterson Show every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to noon. And of course, go to this site right here, which you can see it's a new site for the Sports Web, the sportsweb.live in care of Amped Up Sports. So good stuff there. We got that up there. Go ahead and check all that out. So let's get back to some of these comments, and then we'll go through some other stuff, take some more phone calls, and we may end it for the night because I got to get up early here and go to work. And we'll be back on Monday night with a special salute to Sean the Sports Don, who is a founding father of this show. It is his birthday, my friends. So we will definitely talk about him and his life and celebrate his life. And if you knew him or saw the show some years ago and you have a good memory and you want to share it, we'll definitely talk to you on Monday night. And of course, again, recap it and have Harry the Greek on and Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy and some other guests on. And who knows, maybe the great TJ Reeves, definitely Leo Haggerty. I think Leo is going to come on Monday night. We'll get him on because he has some memories to share about Sean the Sports Don. But Sean the Sports Don, his legacy will always be remembered here on the Sports Web. Always. He is a founding father, a best friend, a brother from another mother, and we will definitely celebrate his life on his birthday on Monday night. All right, so let's continue to read the comments. Concerned about the depth on this team, says Carl. Absolutely. I think you always have to be somewhat concerned about it at some key positions. Again, some of these players are not going to be on this team, and this is where the fluidity, Leo word, of this roster becomes very apparent, because if there are players that the Bucs liked at the time and somehow they get cut, then the Bucs may go into that waiver wire to try to improve it. This is the reason why you have preseason in that vehicle in the first place. So good stuff there by Carl. It's preseason. I'm not worried. Okay. Roger Shue and Trask, we trust. Okay. Earl says Bucky Irving is the real deal. I mean, that's been one of the most impressive things about this. And we talked about him last week. When Barton was in there on that first drive, you could see the holes being opened up. And once again, Irving not going down at the first tackle, making guys miss, showing how shifty he is. Those Warrick Dunn comparisons will continue to flow through the Tampa Bay area because of what this young man has put on tape here the last couple of weeks. So I'm excited about seeing him and how he fits into this Liam Cohen offense during the season, because I definitely think he could be a wild card. And if you're a fantasy football guy, he may be somebody you want to take a flyer on, because a lot of people might not know who he is. So you may be able to get him in the later rounds and sneak him on your roster. And who knows, he may get you some points. Just saying. Where's the Greek? I don't know. He's not here tonight. I think he went to bed. JTS will never change. We'll see, Earl, about that.
Oh, yeah.
Dave says McChoke needs to pull it through the uprights contract. Then Chokes, come on. Absolutely agree with that. Completely agree with that. That is definitely a good comment.
Flawless victory.
JTS, let's face it, is a bust. He has been so far. Sit and says, go Bucs. Absolutely go Bucs.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to Christopher Cole. Klein played OT and guard. Again, a very versatile lineman. And as I put out there, and I told you, I talked to Barton about a week and a half ago, didn't get a chance to post that interview, but finally posted it. You could see how glowingly Graham Barton has talked about Klein and what he could bring to this team. You've seen the tape. The two highest rated offensive linemen after week one were Barton and Klein on that Bucs offensive line. Boy, that rhymed, didn't it? Wow. I would not be surprised by year's end if you saw Klein right next to Barton at left guard. I would not be surprised. And that's a good thing, because he was a 6th-round pick, another small school guy that Jason Light likes to draft as offensive lineman that is versatile, that can play multiple positions. Barton might be an upgrade over Jensen. He may be. Good stuff there, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see here. Being a webhead as a Spider-Man fan is awesome. Drake, absolutely. Thank you very much for participating. You are a webhead. You are all my webheads on this show. Know that. And as I always say here on the Sports Web, you are the lifeblood of what we do. If I don't have you here, I'm sitting talking by myself. Now, I could do that, but it would become very boring, very monotonous, like the sales job I have during the day, where I basically want to shoot myself in the skull and throw the laptop along with everything out the door and hope it never comes back again. So thank you very much for not making this monotonous and boring. That's what I have to say.
Oh, yeah.
Game on. Another good game from Tucker and Ramirez. Yeah, absolutely. Some positives there. Sean Tucker, once again, 4 carries for 32 yards. Again, big-time run. Also, big-time kick return. Could they use him in the kick return game? I mean, this guy can do it all. He's got speed, and when he can get to that opening into space, man, he's got a lot of speed that nobody really talks about. Could be the fastest player on this team besides a Trey Palmer. Oh, by the way, somebody sending me, let me read the rest of these comments, but I just saw something come up here. So we will get to that in a moment. Appreciate that. Ask and you shall receive when it comes to Facebook stars. And of course, YouTube super chats at this point. Is it safe to see why Trask will never be a starter? I think it is. I think it is to a certain degree. Again, though, I want to be fair about this situation because I've been very critical that there are times where he makes some good throws, but he's very inconsistent. Now, if you get those opportunities, it may be with another team, because if it's with this team, then you know that Baker Mayfield, knock on wood, had an injury. You don't want to necessarily see that. But there are moments where he can make those throws. There's also moments where he's missing those throws. And there's also moments where, once again, I know it's a preseason game, but in that situation, you have to know that situation to not take that sack. And you take that sack after being in the league for 4 years. I don't get it. So good comment there, Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to Dave here. Also, Logan Hall's just a guy out there. If he doesn't show up this year, he'll be a bust also. Necessarily hasn't played. He's in for a big year. He has to be productive. Agree with that. You're awesome, Roger. He is awesome. That's why we call him the tribal.
Acknowledge me.
Let's go out to Roger again. Come on, guys. Pay this man for the best Bucs coverage in Florida. Appreciate that, Roger. Again, $20 super chat there. Appreciate it. Let's go out to the Hill. Mark. Roger, I know I've been following him since he practically started. Yes, we've been following each other. I appreciate that. I appreciate the older webheads, the new webheads, and the future webheads. And I promise you that we will get together. We will go to a bar or restaurant. We will have some wings. We will meet face-to-face and shake hands and talk sports. We'll try to have some type of sports web get-together, and I'll definitely work on getting you some shirts. I got something in mind at this point. I'm so busy, trying to figure out this, and this, and, trying to figure out the other stuff. So we'll figure it out together. Falcons, absolutely agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go on to Dave. Atlanta is still coached by Raheem Moss Venus Morris. So we shall see. You know that from when he was here. And, of course, the rumor was at the time Morris was caught with Josh Freeman partying with his players, and that may be the reason why he wasn't a Bucs coach for long. But I will say this, to give him credit, he did get the Bucs to 10 wins with, just guys that you didn't know at the time. Freeman got the most out of him, LeGarrette Blount, of course, Mike Williams, who could forget. So, and he's definitely grown up, and he definitely deserves the coaching job. So we'll see. There's high expectations there in Atlanta, and we'll see if they can fulfill them with all the moves they made in this offseason. Achilles injury for Cousins, absolutely. Ouch, yes. Gary says, with kickers, the biggest killer is lack of confidence. Last week, they chose an attempt over 50 yards for the first kick of the year. I said at the time, if he misses, this could be bad for his confidence. A smart coach would make sure his kicker's first meaningless attempt of the year is cheap shot to build the confidence. Good point. It's a good point. I mean, you got to have that confidence, but he just earned a contract extension. But you're exactly right. Case in point, this goes all the way back to what? 2016, 2017, Roberto Aguayo, most accurate kicker in college football history, and all of a sudden gets to the NFL, and he's not able to have the confidence. He's not able to overcome it. He's not able to kick with efficiency. He's not able to be accurate. He's never able to overcome it. So it's definitely big. Confidence is absolutely huge. Good stuff there, Gary. Thanks a lot for tuning in.
Woo!
As always welcome. Let's go out to Ben here. Yeah, the pass rush or lack thereof is a concern. Although I will say this, Jose Ramirez did get a cheap sack tonight because he forces Mac Jones to fall down. But still, that's pressure. And he had 3 sacks tonight, his final numbers, which was a bright spot here, one of the lone bright spots. Besides him, he had KJ Britt with 6 tackles. Of course, is going to be your starting middle linebacker. Antonio Greer Jr. with 7 tackles there. Jose Ramirez with not only 5 tackles, but 3 sacks. So an impressive game by Mr. Ramirez tonight, and may have earned him a spot on this team. Simone is married to him. She is, but somebody should have told her it is a no-no, and you know this as a Bears fan, to wear Packer gear at Soldier Field. You just can't do. Can somebody get her a jacket that has her husband's name on it, or something? Can we get some checks and balances? I know how awesome she is, but I can't. You're that's going online. That's going to go viral. It's not a good look. It's not a good look, because Bears fans hate Packer fans and Packer fans hate Bears fans, and you can't wear the opposing jersey in their stadiums. That's all I'm trying to say. Scott, being a Buccaneer fan is tough in North Carolina. It's hard because it is Panthers country, but Scott, we got you covered all year round here on the evolution of sports talk television. Let's go on to Roger Shue here, going to bed. Good night, everyone. Good night to you, my friend.
Acknowledge me.
As we will acknowledge you. It's past your bedtime, so get your beauty sleep as you need it. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Ooh, yeah.
Peter, I forgot to tell you that my wrestling podcast will be starting in a month or two. I can't wait to see that. Hopefully you have me as a guest on. Appreciate you as always. Frankie from Wisconsin. Good night, Roger. Sleep well. Nice to meet you. Christopher Cole. New York has a very high state tax. Absolutely they do. Game on. I'm starting to get worried with Braswell. As a second-round draft pick, he hasn't shown anything yet. He has not shown anything yet. Game on. So that would be a little bit disappointing. Does it take him a little bit of time? I know that they hope that he can duplicate the success of Yaya Diaby, but you know what? Every player isn't made the same. So he may not be able to make a contribution right now. Maybe he's able to make a contribution in the middle or in that later part of that season once he gets comfortable. You just don't know yet, but good stuff there. Game on. Thank you very much for tuning in. Barton was a lottery ticket. Elias Rubio, thanks a lot for the comment.
Yeah.
Roxanne, it's preseason, but yes, we definitely covered that here.
Woo!
I definitely know. Dave, let's go out to you. Scott Broadway, I feel your pain. I'm in North Carolina also. Go Bucs.
How about them Bucks, baby?
Go Bucs. Let's go! Go Bucs. Love it. All right. Elias, this is what I was getting to right here. You sent 99 stars on Facebook. Thank you very much. Let's go out to Jay Garrison. Bucs Life, the Sports Web. Go Bucs. Jay, always welcome here on the Evolution. Appreciate you, Mr. J. Buck.
Ooh, yeah.
Let's go out to the hill. Mark, never abandon ship. Fire those cannons. Game on. Do we need to start to be worried with Braswell's a second-round draft pick? I haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. I don't necessarily think you need to be worried. I think the expectations were high. Have we heard anything? I don't know what his contributions is. You would think and assume that they're going to go with JTS, and then they're going to have him in as a rotation, and eventually during the season he'll make some contributions. But right now, Jose Ramirez could be the guy that makes some of those contributions and takes away some of those reps from the aforementioned JTS and, of course, from Braswell. So good comment there, Game On. Appreciate it. Let's go, Bucs. 199. Super chat. Thank you, Christopher Cole. As always, Peter, I already have seen you as someone I was planning to have on as a guest. Absolutely, my friend. You always got me as a guest. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's go out to the hill mark already. Okay, good stuff. Scott, fire those cannons. We will. There we go. And Dave says, as always, great show, Peter. NFL Network. Hire this man for your Bucs coverage. Dave, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and wrap this stuff up here. No comments on Instagram Live, but final numbers for the night. Once again, it's a second preseason game for the majority of it. You didn't see your first team starters besides a KJ Britt. Everything else on offense, but it was a major struggle tonight, a very ugly game, a very typical preseason game. I think there's more positive from that first preseason game where you could see that's going to be your offense instead of tonight. But Kyle Trask, 12 for 19, 108, one touchdown. John Wolford, who was injured in this game late, 7 for 14, 52. Once again, the running game shines. Sean Tucker leading the way, 4 carries for 32 yards, 8 yards a carry. That's pretty damn good. Bucky Irving once again continues to impress, 6 for 26, leading the way when it comes to receiving. Cody Thompson, who caught a touchdown in this game, maybe making a case to make this team along with Ryan Miller. He was quiet tonight, but Cody Thompson, 5 for 66, the 1 touchdown there in the second quarter. Tanner Canoe, 5 catches for 33 yards. Devin Culp showed out tonight. We saw a little bit of him. Real nice little screenplay there. Gives the young man the opportunity with his big body. Puts his foot in the ground and also gives the guy Once again, a stiff arm, which is always good to see. Wow, Elias Rubio making the night great. 500 stars. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. As always, YouTube super chats and also Facebook stars. So thank you very much. Going back to the statistics, Trey Palmer 1 for 10. Also had a little screen pass tonight. You get him out in space. That was impressive. Jalen McMillan 1 for 6. Could have had more if once again Trask hits him on that first drive there. Relatively quiet night, but overall McMillan has been one of the stars of training camp. Defensively, KJ Britt with 6 total tackles. We talked about Antonio Greer Jr. with 7 tackles. Jose Ramirez, a huge night here. 5 tackles, 3 sacks. Bryce Hall, 4 tackles there, had an opportunity to get an interception. Made some plays in this game, but also committed that penalty as we talked about before. Just a good night overall when it comes to those guys, but everything else not very good. Although, once again, 5 sacks by this team led by, once again, Ramirez. And then, Sean Tucker with the kick return there, 2 returns for 55 yards. And Chase McLaughlin misses his field goal. Once again, Jake Carmada responds to the competition from the Bucs after they signed Nolan Cooney. 5 punts tonight, 255 yards, a 51.0 average. Not bad. One of those inside the 20. On the other side of this, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Mac Jones. Matt Jones was the former quarterback wide receiver there from Arkansas. This would be Mac Jones, like mac and cheese. He was definitely cheesy tonight. I don't know if he earned any cheese from this performance, but nonetheless, 16 for 23, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns. CJ Beathard, 5 for 7, 40 yards, was also banged up in this game. Gary Brightwell, 9 carries for 43 yards. Katavius Bigsby, 10 carries for 37 yards. Jalen Jackson, 8 for 24. Mac Jones had 6 carries for 14. So the Bucs tonight lost some containment. Didn't kill them, but there were still chances there where you could wrap them up. Leading the way, Alan Trammell. No, it was Austin Trammell. I don't think they're related. 4 catches for 75 yards. Parker Washington with the big time catch there to blow the game open for the Jaguars there. 3 catches for 38 yards, including the long touchdown there. Brevin Easton, I wanted to call him Sheena Easton. No, it's not Sheena. It's Brevin with the long pass there. 2 catches for 33 yards defensively. Jaron Jones, 4 tackles, and everybody else, who cares? It's a preseason game. You'll get over it, Bucs. It's not a victory a Sunday, but what it is, it's a victory for all of us because thank God this game was a preseason game and not a regular season game. Of course, the next game they will have will be against the Miami Dolphins on Friday night at Raymond James Stadium. So we'll continue to read these comments. Elias, thank you very much. Support Peter H. Blake. The man is on another level. Thank you, boss. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the stars tonight. Thank you, Peter, for all your coverage and for what you do. Good night. Good night to you guys. We'll see you on Monday night. And can't wait for the season to start. Super excited about this year, as you should. You should absolutely be excited about this year because the expectations are definitely there. There are some new offensive weapons. There are old offensive weapons. And we have not got an opportunity to really see this first-team offense along with this first-team defense. But at the end of the day, it's not about, trying to play as many starters as possible. Yes, you're getting those reps in those game time situations, but you can see that in training camp. The key is to stay healthy. And once again, knock on wood, they've been able to do that. With that being said, we're going to wrap it up here. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Join me on Monday night for a celebration of life with Sean the Sports Don, if you will. We'll take phone calls. We'll recap the Bucs loss to the Jaguars. And of course, We'll get you prepared for the last preseason game versus the Miami Dolphins, as we will also be live in collaboration with the JP Peterson Show. 3 things before we end off the night. Hopefully you had a good weekend. Even if the Bucs lost, just remember, one more preseason game, and we were to the season with the Washington Commanders. 3 things. You know them, you love them, you got to have them. So here it is late on this Saturday night. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the sports web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, including you webheads, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. As always, go Bucs.